Regarding the Secretary of Defense and Pete Hegseth allegedly being unqualified, consider our current Secretary of Defense. He's the one who apparently advised Joe Biden on pulling out from Afghanistan. It was an absolute despicable disaster. Hundreds of Americans were left behind. Thousands of Afghan collaborators were left behind, many of whom no doubt were killed. $7 to $8 billion in cutting-edge military equipment left behind, no doubt being used right now against our soldiers deployed in the Middle East. He didn't tell our allies. They were caught flat-footed. 13 service members died at Abbey Gate. It emboldened our enemies. I think that but for this abrupt pullout from Afghanistan, you would not have had the aggression on the part of China. You would not have had the aggression on the part of Iran, even more than before. And I'm not just talking about the fact that Biden loosened the sanctions that Trump had imposed against Iran that had Iran's economy on its backside. It also said that we don't stand by our commitments. And with all the money that Iran is now flush with, they were able to fund the Houthis, fund Hamas, fund Hezbollah. I don't believe you would have had October 7. And Joe Biden said nobody advised him that the abrupt pullout from Afghanistan would cause the Afghan government to melt away and that the Taliban would immediately come back. Nobody advised him. And if nobody advised him, that's a stunning level of incompetence. And if they did advise him, and he did it anyway, it shows you that they weren't particularly persuasive. Either way, not very impressive. And then you have all this DEI nonsense coursing through our military, which is why a lot of people say that they believe the military is having recruitment issues. And then, shortly after he became Secretary of Defense, he asked the military to stand down for a period of days to root out the white supremacists within the ranks of the military. And they found out that there weren't white supremacists within the ranks of the military. So this is the guy we have right now. And I didn't even mention when he went into the hospital, Secretary Austin, for a medical procedure and didn't tell the president where he was. And the president didn't know where he was for several days, which shows you they aren't in regular communication. But even if they were, don't you kind of want to tell the White House you're going to be in the hospital for a medical procedure? Do you really think Pete Hegseth is going to do worse than that? But one of the critics is Joy Reid. Joy Reid, circa 2006-2007, had a blog. Before I get into her blog, here's what she said again about the Trump cabinet picks who have issues. Number 5.
These past 14 days, y'all have felt like Trump is casting his administration like it's a reality TV show. But with this amount of effort exerted on individuals who are exceptional in their lack of qualifications, you have to openly wonder what they've promised Trump and what he promised them in return. What's implied here is a pseudo quid pro quo, where you hire individuals who have issues that can only be resolved by a powerful king, and then that king, Donald Trump, gets permanent loyalty.
Now, as I said, 2006, 2007, we're going to talk to George in Apple Valley, California in just a second. So, George, please don't go away. She had a blog. Here's what the BBC News wrote about her blog post. This is before she got her job on MSNBC Hee Haw, and so you get a job as a host, and people go over your background. And they found this blog she had. tweets resurfaced from 2010 before she was well known, in which she questioned Ann Coulter's gender, called Senator Lindsey Graham Miss Lindsay, she said this about gays, quote, "Most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing. A lot of heterosexuals, especially men, find the idea of homosexual sex to be, well, gross." She said she would never see the movie Brokeback Mountain because she couldn't stand watching men kiss. Now, again, a lot of people probably feel this way. But this is a lefty on MSNBC Hee Haw calling Ann Coulter gay. By the way, she also questioned whether or not 9/11, I kid you not, was an inside job. She was a 9/11 truther. Conspiracy. Wasn't done by terrorists. Was an inside job. Who says that? So these posts resurface. You know what she said? I was hacked. So guess what NBC did? Her boss hired a cybersecurity expert to find out whether or not she was hacked. And the report came back, she wasn't hacked. Quote, "I genuinely do not believe I wrote those hateful things because they are completely alien to me. I hired cybersecurity experts to see if somebody had manipulated my words or my former blog, and the reality is they have not been able to prove it." End of quote. So she never says hateful things. So she said these things. She said she didn't say them. Hired a security expert who said, yeah, you did say them. And then she said, I just don't believe I said them. Maybe she's the one with the drinking problem. I don't know. By the way, more posts surfaced. And again, she denied writing them. And again, she had to admit that she wrote them.